All right, thank you, Sean and Emma. We are joined, as you said, by the CEO of NEWSMAX, Chris Ruddy. There are so many people in St. Peter's Square, so much enthusiasm in the air here in Rome. Your thoughts on the historic moment that we are witnessing?
A picking of a pope is a major event in a moment not in current events, but in world history, right? And we don't know. The last pope was very, very monumental in his impact on the Catholic Church in the world. And I think everybody's looking forward to what this next pope will be. So there's a huge amount of anticipation. And I think it's important not just for Catholics, but Christians, every religion around the world, because the Pope, it is a religion, but it's also a state, Vatican City. So we're having a tremendous amount of interest from our viewers, and we're, I think, providing a lot of coverage.
What made you decide to do that? I mean, the coverage that, because of you, you're the CEO, that we've been covering this, and why do you feel that it is so important?
Well, you know, if you go back to when John Paul II was named Pope and Paul VI, that was like a major nonstop news event in the United States. All the major networks covered it nonstop. The old days, they're getting away from news events and going to these scripted programs or local talk shows, and we're really filling the void of what the old news used to provide Americans, which is on major topics. You know, we're covering very fully and in depth.
Well, clearly the media plays a very important role in this entire process and how the message is delivered to the entire world.
Yes, and I think the Pope, sets the stage. Catholics, there's over 1 billion Catholics. It's one of the largest religious groups in the United States. I think it's the largest single denomination in the United States. So it's got a tremendous amount of impact on politics. Look, I would say we saw the rise of woke ideology around the world in the West. The Pope Francis played a big role in that. He was a big advocate for climate change, DEI policies. He's now leaving.
Open borders.
Open borders. And President Trump is an anti-woke president. And I think a lot of people are wondering, are we going to have the next Pope be, I don't want to say a MAGA Pope, but to say a Pope that's not so woke?
So in terms of getting back toward more biblical truth and less relativism, you think that that's clearly the direction that the Church hopefully will be going in as we go from the Francis papacy to this new papacy?
Well, I'm a Catholic. I have my own personal views. They're not the network's views. I think a more traditional Pope. It's funny, I was chatting with President Trump last week about this subject, and we were laughing, and he said that he would make a good Pope, and I said he would, but first he would have to become a Catholic. But he said to me, I'd really like I'd like that we bring back an old Italian-style Pope, like John the 23rd and Paul VI. And I said, that would be great. He said, and another thing, if it comes back, we get an old Italian, we should get the Latin Mass back. And, of course, the Latin Mass, for those of you who don't know, is the traditional form of the Mass that a lot of conservatives like.
I think the First Lady's having a little bit of influence on him when it comes to his.
What do you think about President Trump establishing an office of faith in the White House, making Pam Bondi the head? She's the head of the task force to combat Christian persecution, which we have seen happen right here in the United States. It's also happening around the world. He's making faith great again.
America was founded on Judeo-Christian ethics and values. Religious people founded our country. And so the Constitution, our founding documents, are all based on people that believed and had faith. So great book on this subject called Light and Glory, about the impact or how the foundation of the country was built on religious ideas. And so I think President Trump is just continuing that. There's been an effort by secular people to break those bonds. I think it's a very big mistake, and it's a dangerous mistake. But we're having a lot of fun here in Rome. We have a big crowd of media and friends of NEWSMAX here at the St. Regis. I know there's a lot of people over in the St. Peter's Square. We're covering that too. So to us, it's been an important event being here.